Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Wendy Mutata. Guys, before I can even start, can you see my makeup? I need a close-up so that you can see how cute I look. So there's this lady who did my makeup. So I was supposed to do this nice interview, this gentleman obviously. So now I've got this lady here and then her eyebrows were flicking. So I was like, hello baby girl, can you just do something to my face? I got this natural beautiful look from Inomotom. So I'm gonna just get you guys a nice close-up of selfies and stuff so that you can see how pretty I look. I look so pretty. Okay guys, so today we're talking about a very important topic of mental health. I know most of us probably may be like, oh, mental health, what is it all about? So guys, today we are chilling with a founder of the Young Leaders of Tomorrow. Basically, this organization is about tackling issues that are facing young people. Because I've spoken about mental health, specifically today we're going to talk about depression and anything that has to do with mental health. So he will be taking us through his journey on how he started this organization. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
So guys, the funny part is that it's how I actually met them. So I met the twin brother. He has a twin, like a cute, nice twin that I met him the other day. So I met them on Friday, just like on the street. So they're doing this amazing campaign. So I literally had to stop and be like, guys, what is going on here? That's how I met them, and of course they allowed to do this nice interview. So why mental health?
We chose mental health first because we saw that there was a rise in a lot of suicides among the youth, and we realized that a lot of the youth are depressed although they may not know it. So that's why we chose to do that, and basically because I myself have a history with mental health illness, I was depressed and suicidal for 5 years.
So what made you start this organization?
First thing that basically is because like I said, I was depressed and suicidal for 5 years, and my friends and family did not know about it. So when they found out, they didn't know about anything.
But were you aware that you're going through some mental issues at that point?
At the time, I was not aware of it, but it became. I started realizing it when I noticed that I was self-harming, and I had all these self-loathing thoughts and these thoughts of suicide almost every day, and always contemplating suicide, whether it was by overdosing on pills, which I actually did at one time, or it was cutting my wrist, which I actually did, because one of my last attempts was cutting my wrist at school.
So you just said 5 years. So that is like when you were still at school?
Yeah, from grade 8 to matric.
So your whole experience of high school was a nightmare?
Yes, basically it was a nightmare.
And was your twin brother aware?
No, my twin brother was not aware. My closest friends were not aware. My family, my mom, no one was aware.
So you said you were self-harming yourself?
Yes.
What would you do?
On most days when I had a bad day or someone said something bad to me.
What was your typical bad day?
My typical bad day was waking up late, getting to school late, having teachers moan at me, or my friends moan at me about not being, ruining their mood or something like that. So that would be my bad day, and having a long strenuous day at school and having to come home to what was a toxic environment then.
When you say you were self-harming yourself, can you give us an example of what you would do to yourself?
I used to cut my wrists.
Do you still have scars?
Yes, I do still have 2 scars from my last attempt.
Oh, okay. So what would you use?
I used to use blades. My mom is a nurse, so she used to keep surgical blades at home. So I used to take surgical blades, and whenever I'd bath, I'd lock myself in the bathroom, and I'd cut my wrist and cut my inner thighs so that I wouldn't be found out. Because I knew that if I were to cut in an obvious place and I was wearing short sleeve, someone would see it and someone would notice. So I used to cut on my inner thighs so that no one would notice it.
So obviously you would bleed.
Yes, I would.
Guys, this is very tight. I think he can see my eyes are getting watery bit by bit. I know he's over that now, but it's just a bit traumatic. So how old were you by that time?
I was in grade 8, so 14. Yeah, 14, 15.
So obviously this thing, according to you, started when you were doing grade 8, but it was a build-up from when you were a bit younger.
Yes, it was a build-up, yes.
So what actually you think led you to be in that kind of a situation?
I think the first and foremost was the absence of my father, number one. And the absence of my father then led me to battle with my faith a lot. Because if my own earthly father, my father was supposed to be on earth, was supposed to love me and protect me, is not here in my life, how can I love and adorn a father that is in heaven, that I cannot see, that I cannot hear from. So I battled my faith a lot, and his absence a lot in my life, and the death of my cousin in 2012 when I was in grade 7 before going to high school, and then transitioning from primary to high school and being bullied in grade 8 and 9, and having to try and fit in and always being compared into contrast with my twin brother, because I'd always have teachers who teach us but we're in different classes, but they'd always bring us up against each other, like your brother's doing well in this, why aren't you? And my friends as well, the pressure of always, why can't you do this, your brother's doing it, why aren't you doing it as well as your twin brother? And always when our reports would come out, my mom would always sit us down like, okay, you did this, you did this, why aren't you performing as well as your brother, why aren't you doing this like your brother?
So would you say, before you continue, would you say black families are suffering from that?
Yes, a lot of black families are suffering from ignorance and not having enough knowledge or education about mental health illnesses such as depression, because in most black communities when we hear mental illness or depression, we always think to the homeless naked guy eating out of dustbins. And whenever you are said to be depressed in a black society, you always treated as an outcast, you're shunned upon, and people shy away from that. And if you come out to your family and say I'm depressed and suicidal, they tend to not take you seriously. They say you're attention seeking, or they say you've got demons, and they have a prayer session for you, and they just don't take it seriously.
So when you were self-harming yourself, so there was no at any point during that high school period where there's someone who noticed that, okay, you are cutting yourself, you are depressed, you are that kid who's always at a certain corner alone?
No one noticed, because I had come so good at covering it up.
Actually, you're actually right, because this where I read where it says people who have depression, who are suffering from depression, when they are with people like now, if it's all of us like this, well, like we laugh like everyone, we actually share jokes, we do whatever that everyone is doing, then it haunts us when we are alone.
True, because whenever I was with my friends, I had to adapt. Okay, I'm with my friends, I had to be that person. Oh guys, what's this? We're cracking jokes, we're doing all of this, and I had to always smile, always laugh. So having to keep up that facade every day and not having time to myself to just feel and let myself feel and let all this emotional pain that I was feeling come through. I couldn't let that happen. And one of the reasons why I used to cut was I was having a lot of emotional pain that I could not locate, like I'm feeling pain here. So I had to have emotional pain to distract me from the, I had to feel physical pain to distract me from the emotional pain I was feeling. So no one noticed up until my last attempt, which was in grade 10. And it was after I had one of the roughest days at school, and I had a rough day at home, and my mom was just having a rough day herself, and it just all culminated to like, you know what, this is it, I'm sick and tired of this. And I took one of my mom's surgical blades because I knew I couldn't do it at home. And I that day got to school, and I literally wrote suicide notes for my family, for my twin brother.
Was it your first time writing a suicide note?
Yeah, for everyone else, it was the first time, because I had written one for where if they should find me, but now I had written specific notes for specific people. So I literally wrote notes the whole day, and the period before break at school, I literally spoke to my friend. I was like, I packed my stuff up. I was like to her, please take care of my stuff, I'm going to the toilet. And just before I left, I looked in the eye and I said goodbye. I said goodbye to her, and I left the class, and I went to the toilet.
Did you know what you wanted to do at that moment?
I did. At that moment, I was sure that at any point, but by all costs, I did not want to see this day through. I wanted to die. I did not want to come out alive that day. So I went to the toilet. And I closed the cubicle. I locked, and I took off my blazer and I started cutting. And I had done research days prior, so I was cutting in a specific way to make sure.
You read even about it. Okay.
And to make sure that I do bleed, and if I do bleed and someone finds me, that they cannot stop the bleeding quick enough. So I had cut my wrists, and then I left the toilet, and as I was walking, blood was dripping down my hands. So someone saw the trail of blood and followed me because I actually went to a place where I thought I'd be secluded.
Yeah.
But this person followed the blood trail to me, and she asked me why I was doing this, and I just kept quiet. And one of the general
By
workers,
that time, Mama doesn't know anything.
nothing. No one knows anything. And one of the general workers at school came. They found me, and they tried to talk to me to ask why I was doing this, and I just kept quiet. I refused to go to the office with them. I refused to get help. I refused to let anyone treat me because I wanted to bleed out. And prior to that, I actually walked all the way from from the classrooms to the hostel side of the school, so that I could at least elevate my heart rate so I could bleed more.
Yeah.
So it was break, and then my friends got told that I tried to commit suicide, and my brother came to me, and
You were in the same school with your
yeah,
brother?
we're in the same school, yes, and the same grade, and he came to me and he just started shouting at me.
Oh, how did you feel?
I felt like this is the reason why
He
I want to.
doesn't
This is the reason why I
understand,
want to die, because you don't understand me. You're here shouting at me for cutting my wrist, telling me I'm ungrateful, telling me all these hurtful things. I want to die because of this, and here you are adding on top of that. So yeah, they told my family. My mom then arranged sessions for me with a clinical psychiatrist, and I started having sessions. And eventually, over time, I started getting better, and I started opening up to my family, my friends. And whenever I was feeling down, I would now talk about it. I found a way to talk about it. And one of the things that was a coping mechanism for me in high school was drama and music.
Okay, alright.
We did a musical drama at school, and we started a bit of a choir type of thing, and that was my outlet, because when I was on stage, I was not me. I was not Msizi.
Yes.
I was someone else. I could forget my pain. I could forget my burdens. I could forget everything about who I am, and immerse myself into my character. So immersing myself into my character was one of the coping mechanisms I had. And doing first year at school, being there for someone who's hurt, because I knew I desperately wanted someone to be there for me.
Yeah.
So doing that was some of the coping mechanisms that I had at the
Helped
time.
you,
That
yeah.
helped a lot. And especially after that, when I started doing my sessions and seeing my psychiatrist
Did
regularly.
it help though, seeing a psychiatrist?
At first I thought it wasn't, because I was acting against the process. But eventually, when I let the process work and I let the process do what it was supposed to do, I started getting better. And eventually, over time, yes, I would have episodes here and there where I'd be, when I slip back into depression, I'd be super sad, but I would relapse here and there, but I get better. I'd come back quicker. So over time, eventually, I did get better.
So how was the relationship after everyone finding out, okay, this is what happened at school today? How was the relationship going back home?
Back home, it took some adjustment, because I mean, my mom was a hard person to talk to, and with her finding
She's a
out,
strict mother.
she's a very strict mother. She's typical
strict black woman that we know.
She's a strong Xhosa woman.
I know.
Strong Xhosa woman, and because my father was not there, she had to play both the mother and the father
She's
figure.
like that.
And she mainly played a father figure more than a mother figure at times. And when I used to talk to my mother, I used to tell her, Uti, at times I felt as if you were more a financial parent than an emotional parent.
Okay.
Because you were there financially, you gave us what we needed, what we wanted, but you were never there emotionally. And you were always hard on us, because you always had to play the father role, because we didn't have one. So, having to go past that, and even now there's something that we're still working on now to better our relationship, so that we can talk to each other, we can have a better relationship.
Would you say, I don't know if it only happens with African mothers or it's just a national or international thing. Would you say parents, or probably, let's just not say mothers, actually parents, should be there emotionally for their kids?
Yes, I think that's an aspect, especially for black parents, specifically in the black society, because our parents, our parents' generation, they not emotionally there sometimes because they didn't have emotional support back in the days because of apartheid.
Yeah.
Most of them were sent away from their parents, from their home states to go study or to go to better schools or to keep them away from security forces, the apartheid security forces. So they didn't have the emotional backing they needed from their parents. They had to grow up quicker. They had to put things, they had to numb themselves emotionally to get through what they were going through at the time. So our parents' generation do not have that emotional background that they need or that we need now from our parents because they didn't get it from theirs.
Yes,
because most of them, they didn't get it because their parents were not there or they had to be away from their parents and they went through ordeals. Fleeing from security forces or going through a whole lot of things during apartheid where they had to be numb emotionally or things that shut them down emotionally, and now they carried that with them, and now they cannot give that to us when we need it.
Yeah, and they don't even see the importance of it.
True.
They just think, okay, I'm paying for your fees, you should just
I'm putting a roof over your head, you have clothes on your back, I pay for school fees, what more do you want from me?
Yes.
And with black societies, we whenever I used to speak to other people besides my friends about my depression, like, dude, you're black, what the hell are you talking about?
Like,
that's a white man's
you're confusing
disease.
us, yes.
Oh, you watch too many movies, come on, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Black people are not depressed, black people don't commit suicide,
like,
what is that? So I realized, we then realized that it is a stigma, we have a bad stigma towards suicide and depression and mental health illness as a whole. And our black parents cannot cater for that because they do not know how. They will call you attention seeking or demonic possessed for having that or for saying that. So we
next
need
thing you're
to
having night prayers at home because
and people are trying to exercise demons and you're thinking, I don't have demons.
Yeah.
I do not have demons. And here people are praying over you and you're thinking, I don't need this. I need someone to talk to. I need someone to see my pain.
Do you think we have many people who are literally in their own lonely space where they don't like have anyone to talk to?
I think so, because when with people that are depressed,
or what even makes what even makes someone to just be in their own space alone? What do you think makes someone to be in their own space alone? Remember, we all have family, we all have friends, but what makes one to be like, I'm just not gonna share it? What allows a person to even get to that type of a decision?
As black children, we grew up with, you're not special.
Okay, that's true.
As a black child, you're just like any other child. You're not special. What makes you special? So with that, you can't talk to your family because no. So what's special about me? You're not special. So you tend to isolate yourself.
Yeah.
Because no one understands you. No one listens to me. No one understands me. So I'd rather be alone. I'd rather be secluded. I'd rather keep things to myself because no one could understand me.
Yeah, guys, this is a very touchy topic. Like, honestly, it's making me emotional. So after all this that has happened, did you and your brother come to terms? Remember, you're twin brothers. You're not like typical siblings that we are with our. So did you like after everything, like obviously now he knows that okay, this is the reason why you were going through this period of being suicidal and other things. Did you work on your relationship?
Yes, we did, and we learned. I learned a lot to talk to him about things. When something doesn't sit well with me emotionally, I learned to talk to him, and he learned to listen.
So now coming back to black families, which I feel is very important, and most of us, we are experiencing it, even though probably we may not think that it affects us. Yes, it does. Coming to black families, do you think there is more of what's the correct term? When you you have like 3 kids or whatever the case may be, you feel like these 2 are your favorites, and then there's another one that you just don't like, or because they go out or probably they pass with like 50%. Do you think that's kind of what's the term? Not necessarily a separation. What is it? Biased.
Some black parents do have a certain bias towards kids, or they treat their kids differently because of maybe their academic performance or how they feel towards them, or sometimes as a child you may not think that why does my parent treat treat me worse than they do, or than they do my sibling, or they treat my sibling better when my sibling does this or act out in a certain way. They don't punish me the same way they punish me.
So now coming to your organization, what is it all about?
Okay, so basically, our organization mainly wants to focus on tackling issues faced by the youth. So that is your teenage pregnancies, your substance abuse, your bullying, gang violence, anything and everything around the youth. So we started with the suicide awareness campaign because suicide does not have just one cause to it. It's not only depression. It could be a whole lot of things going around in the home. It could be because of drug use. It could be because of alcohol abuse. It could be because of bullying or a whole lot of things. You know.
So I actually met you guys just like maybe a day ago. So you were doing this nice campaign. What was it all about?
So basically it was...
So before you even start, guys, like they were actually around, I don't know if I should say Auckland Park or where, but it's somewhere just local. They were actually on some robots, like having this nice placards written, "You don't need your money, we just want to hug you." That was so like fascinating for me. I literally had to stop my car and be like, "Guys, what are you doing here? What's happening?" So that really got my attention.
Yeah, so one of the first things that my twin brother and I did when we started the organization.
So you are the co-founder, right?
Co-founders, yes.
Together with your twin brother.
Yes.
Okay.
So one of the first things we did was we wrote on cardboard boxes. One of the first pictures we published was we wrote on a cardboard, "I don't want your money. I just want you to know that you matter.
You matter, yes.
So, and then mine was written, "Hi, I'm CZ, and I too was depressed and suicidal. You're not alone. Reach out to someone and reach out and speak to someone." Hashtag suicide awareness, hashtag Wila. So that was the one thing that we did. We did that. We took pictures of that and we put it. We took pictures on the side on the main street or next to where we live. And we published that, and then our classmates were like, "Okay, this is great."
Yeah.
And it just happened instantaneously in class, where our classmates just took pieces of paper and highlighters, and they just wrote comforting messages to people like, "You're not alone," hashtag "You're not alone," or you matter, something, like that. And we posted it.
How would the world be if we were really how would the world be if we were really that caring?
Honestly, I believe the world would be a better place and a more conducive place for people who are suffering from mental health illnesses. Because it's not only depression, it could be bipolar disorder, it could be anxiety. All of these things hamper into depression. So people don't understand that we can't talk to people. Hence why our classmates had pieces of papers around their mouth with an X on it, because we're silenced. We cannot talk. And then we had kids from other schools doing it as well, and it was just a thing that just caught fire. So we thought for this 67 minutes for Mandela Day, let's do it again. Let's stand on a street, let's stand somewhere, and let's just do it again. Let's raise awareness, because not everyone knows about this, especially it being a black child, being a black teenager, or just being a teenager in general, just being in the youth. Because people older than us do not think that we can be susceptible to depression. They don't think that we know what depression is, because one of the things that...
Remember, in our community, you can't be young and be depressed. Like, what are you talking about?
What
are you
problems
saying?
Do you have? What stress do you have?
You just go to school, yes.
You just go to school and eat. That's all you do, but there's complexities to that. There's a lot more around it. And we go through a lot as the youth. Whether you're black or not, we go through a lot, because now our struggles are not the same struggles that our parents went through. We have different things now. We have cyberbullying. We have people taking out revenge porn. We have people blackmailing each other. We have people trolling each other on social media websites. Some people glamorize depression now, and people don't believe you when you come out and say, "Guys, I'm depressed, I need help." Because some people reach out on social media, on Facebook or Twitter, "Guys, I need help, who can I talk to?" But people have glamorized it so much.
So many posts like that where someone can be like, "I literally need someone to talk to."
True, and no one's going to...
Someone can just come and be like, "Who? Sort out your life."
Dude.
Where do we get it?
Why? The reason why you're depressed is because you're airing out your things on social media. Social media is not the space for you to do this.
No, it's because...
So because of that, we are the youth, and these are things that we are struggling with. These are our problems. So we thought for this 67 minutes of Mandela Day, let's do this. Let's stand at a different street on different robots. So my twin brother and I had we kept our placards from 2017. And one of our newest members, Natasha Buluka, she made hers that said she was giving us free hugs. And I promise
Oh,
you.
she's actually the one who gave me a hug, guys.
Yeah.
I think we have a photo somewhere. I'm just gonna show you. She gave me a very nice, warm hug, and like wow.
And people literally stopped.
For 67 seconds.
So people just like you literally got out of your car. And people took pictures. People stopped. People who were walking, just like people got out of taxis to get a free hug.
Yeah.
People, after getting the free hug, people smiled. They're like, oh my God, you don't know how much I needed this. You don't know how much I needed. This is not, it's a simple thing, but it's a great gesture. And with my board saying that I was depressed too, I said I was depressed and suicidal too because I assume whoever's going to be reading it has been through some sort of depression or some sort of suicide. Yeah. So you can relate. I want you to relate to what I've been through.
Take us through the next event that you're gonna have.
Okay, so the next event we're going through right now, we're still planning, we're doing everything we need to, but the next event for sure is the Suicide Awareness March, which is going to be on the 5th of October. Look out on all our social media platforms. It's going to be a huge event that's going, we were aiming for it to touch people on a huge magnitude because we were going to have a silent march.
Oh.
We want to have a silent march to commemorate the lives that were lost to suicide, to commemorate the young lives that could have been something, that could have done something, the people that we've lost. Because some people may not have been going through suicidal depression, but they may have lost someone to it.
Yes, that's actually true. Do you have people who just come and be like, guys, like this is what I'm going through?
Yes, on us, we always encourage people to hit us up on our Facebook because we, especially my twin brother, he opens up his DMs to people to just say, tell me what you're going through, and if you'd like, I can post your story anonymously. And he'll post your story if you agree. He posts your story anonymously, and people will just come in and give you messages of encouragement. People will tell you that you're not alone. So we do this a lot online, and people come to us, and then we counsel them
And online, that's where more people voice out. If you check your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, more people are being open about, okay, this is what I'm going through, than in an actual way, it's a face-to-face type of a conversation.
And that's why we encourage a lot of people to hit us up, and we in turn counsel those people come to us, and we sometimes we do face-to-face meets because most of our team members are trained life coaches.
Okay.
So we use the life coach training to talk to people, to get to people, to find out what they're going through and find the root cause of their depression. And we don't give them advice. We don't tell them no, do this. We help you find the root cause of the depression and help you find a solution to them. So that if it fails, you can't say, no, stop, it's your fault. So they don't have a finger to point at anyone else but themselves. So we help them find the root cause and a solution to it. Because I've had calls at 3 a.m. I'm on the ledge. I'm literally about to commit suicide. I need someone to talk to and to talk them down, because
it's
most of the time
better if you have people who actually calls than people who where you
So even if you text, we will answer any time of the day, any time of the night. We will answer, and we have people who come later to us and say, no, you know what, Nep? I was not confident enough to voice my story. But seeing a post helped me. Your post helped me. And having people come who we have helped come to us and say, yo guys, you really helped me. And your help really did a lot for me, and I want to thank you. We literally have a whole lot of people tell us that, no guys, the work you're doing, because we could have a lot of people, what do you know about mental health? So you're too young to know about this, you know nothing. But all of those, the hate messages, just one person saying you've helped me. In closity, so that's where the impact is, So that's where we need to we're focusing on, because a lot of tertiary students going to tertiary from high school not knowing what they're getting themselves into because of the stress and the pressure of tertiary, and you find a whole lot of students committing suicide because of the pressure of high school of
remember
tertiary.
There was a time here at Vets, we had I don't know if it was 3 incidences or what, where they were just committing suicide.
Especially I think in a week there were 7 students from Vets who committed suicide. Some survived, some didn't. And I remember the one incident, may her soul rest in peace, where she jumped off one of the buildings in Brown. And people were literally saying the security guards were yelling at her, telling her to jump. So situation like so, we need to educate our society about such issues, and that's what we aim to do, because we literally hold talks at high schools and universities. I recently did a talk at church, because we now realize that we need to do talks at churches so that the church can help the youth. Because now when because we need to educate our spiritual leaders about this thing, because it's not yes, you can look at it as at a spiritual level as being a demon, but I don't need prayers, I need someone to talk to. Yes, you can pray for me, but I need someone to talk to as well. I need someone to see my pain. I need someone to let my burdens off to. So that's why we're now venturing into talking to churches, holding talks at churches.
Yeah. But do you think young people are ready to talk about their day-to-day issues?
That's the thing, it's a taboo topic. For it not to be a taboo topic, we need to talk about it. And we need to make it less of a taboo topic so that it goes deeper into homes, where families are able to talk about it instead of it being a hush-hush topic.
So what have you learned from now, your perspective and what you have been through in this organization?
I have learned that people need someone that is depressed suicide needs someone to listen to, not someone who's going to talk to them. Because most people talk at, not to. They lecture you. Why are you doing this? Why do you have a lot of light to? They don't listen. They miss it because they don't listen. So we learned that we need to listen more than talking, actually, because that person needs someone that can listen when they talk. A shoulder to cry and someone to just say, listen, talk to me, I'm here for you. To give them that earnest time and that earnest
and don't
thing, that connection. That connection, like, I'm listening to you. Talk. I'm going to listen. That's what they need.
And sometimes you don't even have to say anything, just to listen.
Sometimes even I learned that even sometimes just being in someone's presence, just sitting in silence, being in someone's presence, that helps a lot. Just sitting, even if it's an awkward silence, just sit. Just having the feeling of someone's presence there helps someone.
Anything that you want to add?
We're going to be doing Wildlife is going to be doing Wildlife representative ambassador search for the whole country. So we have ambassadors in different provinces and different communities, so that we're able to reach people, to have an even deeper reach to people. So we'll look out on our social media handles, on all of our social media handles, and we're going to be releasing a Wildlife line where you can get a hold of us, where you can call us and talk to us and find out about anything that you need to ask about or we want to find out about. You can catch us on that line, and on our socials you can DM us on all the Wildlife Rips.
What is one advice you would give to someone who's having a bit of mental health issues?
All I can say to you is you're not alone. It may feel like you're isolated now. It may feel like there is no light at the end of the tunnel, but you're not alone. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Reach out to someone and talk to someone. Reach out to anyone. Reach out to us, we will listen. You're not alone. You're not the only one going through this, and we will help you through it.
I have learned so much from him, and I've learned that it's very important for one to always speak out. So please let us just do this thing to avoid any issues that we may go through. Ladies and gentlemen, season. Am I correct?
Yes, I'm season.
Oh, I got it right guys this time. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Guys, don't forget to hit the button too. Like, really, I love that bell. So make sure that you hit on it. Bye guys.
Bye guys.